Hi guys, so here on Rory here, co-founder of Sublime Trading, here with your daily update for the UK and US indices for Wednesday the 1st of July. Alright guys, hope you're well. So, end of the month yesterday for June, if we look at the monthly time frame, we can see that closed as an indecision candle, which means that price really closed inside a monthly range. We've been monitoring that all month really, price trading inside the high and the low of June. So overall, still waiting for a breakout on the US indices and the UK indices. However, if we take a closer look at what's happened so far this week, we've seen bullishness on the US indices. We've seen price find support at those key levels, those very levels we've been monitoring all month, and we've seen a bounce to the upside on Monday, a bounce to the upside, and a continuation of that bullishness through yesterday. So certain stocks that are in our portfolio, they've recovered some lost ground during the recent pullbacks, and also we've had further breakouts. So overall, the stock market is continuing to look bullish, and that's very much what your stance needs to be. If you're standing aside, why are you standing aside? If you're bearish, insane, you want to be bullish and you want to be looking for long opportunities. Moving on to the Footsie 100. Footsie 100 itself, it's still very much whipsawing up and down, still continuing to consolidate inside this range of June. So what we want is a breakout. However, having a look at some of the better performing UK stocks, we can see price pushing up and moving towards the current all-time highs, or even creating new all-time highs. So across the board, both UK and US stocks, we are looking bullish, and that's our stance. Now, what we do have is NFP out tomorrow because Friday is a bank holiday in the US. So our stance here at Sublime Trading is to stand aside. I've mentioned this before, we don't trade NFP. NFP is a day where a lot of people lose a lot of money. It's only the brokers that really profit very well on NFP, and those who do make any profit, they usually just end up giving it back, or it's profit that covering past losses. It makes very little difference to your wealth trading NFP. So the smart choice really is to stand aside, protect your money, and pick things up again on Monday when NFP has passed and it's been factored into the market. So overall, our stance is still bullish. An indecision candle and a range month for the month of June. That's how it closed. We want to see how this pans out through July. So that's really where patience comes in, where we let price dictate, but our stance continues to be bullish. So let's get into the charts and catch up with price action.
If you're new to these daily updates, then I recommend starting with the recording that's pinned to the top of our Facebook page so that you get a good understanding of what I go through in these charts. This is our 3-screen setup. We have the monthly in the top left, weekly in the top right, and a daily chart down here across the bottom. Let's start with the S&P 500 on the monthly time frame. Overall, we know price is very much bullish. Since COVID-19, we've had a good recovery, and if you look at the month of June, it's closed as an indecision candle of sorts, and that's because price is stuck between resistance and support. We want to see a breakout to the upside and a continuation of this bullish trend. On the weekly time frame, price above the 200 and the 50 simple moving average. We can see this consolidation price is in. You can see that in more detail on the daily. Prices holding at the 200 simple moving average, which is holding strong as support. We've had a bounce this week, but ultimately still waiting for our breakout to suggest a continuation. Moving across to the Nasdaq, which is very much leading the way. We can see price is printing new all-time highs, and in June we've had a bullish month and price closed above that 10,000 round number. On the weekly, price above the 200 and the 50 simple moving average. And if we come down to the daily time frame, price above all 3 moving averages and the 10,000 round number. Again, we've had a bullish week so far this week. We want to see price break and close above the high of June to suggest a continuation. Moving across to the Dow Jones, it is lagging behind. An indecision candle as well confirmed on the Dow Jones for the month of June, but as the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, as they start pushing to new highs, expect the Dow Jones to follow. On the weekly, price above the 200 moving average, but finding resistance at the 50 simple moving average. And on the daily time frame, price is below the 200 moving average, but finding support at the 50 simple moving average. So very similar setup compared to the S&P 500. It's just that it's just below the 200 moving average. We want to see this whole area confirmed as support and then further strength to the upside. Looking at the S&P 500 mini, we can see that Monday and Tuesday were bullish days. Wednesday so far, slow start in terms of pre-market action, finding resistance at the 20 simple moving average. Let's see how the open plays out. Ultimately, it's the end of day candlestick that gives us the most information. So we want to ideally see price move through the 20 simple moving average and then strength towards the high of June. Ultimately clear this and then further strength towards the current all-time high. Moving across to the Footsie 100, we can see that June also closes in an indecision candle. And that's because price is trading between these areas of resistance and the 6,000 round number as support. If we look at the month of July, it's a bearish start so far. But remember, it's the start. It's only the start of the month. The candlestick will look very, very different by the end of the month. On the weekly, price is below the 200 and the 50 simple moving averages. On the daily, price is also below the 200 moving average, below the 20 simple moving average, but finding support at the 50 simple moving average. So we want to see this area hold strong. That's the 50 simple moving average and the 6,000 round number. We want to bounce to the upside. Our stance hasn't changed. Still waiting for a breakout above the high of June and ideally the 200 simple moving average to suggest further strength to the upside. So patience needed here until price dictates that breakout. For now, we're still focusing on the stocks that are performing better than the average. So even though the indices may be stuck in consolidation, there were numerous breakouts across some of the best performing stocks yesterday. By the end of play yesterday, many of these are in our portfolio as we speak. So a good day yesterday. Let's see how the rest of the week plays out. As a reminder, there's NFP out tomorrow. Our stance here at Sublime Trading is quite simple. Stand aside until NFP passes. Friday is a bank holiday in the US, so the markets will be closed. Okay guys, that's me for today. Please like, comment and share. Let's get people understanding how to use the indices correctly to build a solid investment portfolio. The markets are moving. This is the time to be getting involved, and I will be back tomorrow with the next daily update.